All right, gentlefolk. Good morning, at least for now. I have had a little bit of a rough start this morning, and it became obvious that, to me, that I needed Jesus in a way that I wasn't really receiving, and so I knew from my behavior and the way that I was engaging in the world and life around me, it became clear that I had some seeking to do, because I know that Jesus is in me, but I really have to, I don't know if acquiesce is the right word, because I think there's some negative connotation to that, but I have to surrender to him in his desire for me. There's a mutuality, reciprocity, and things that have to work together because Christ doesn't force and I'm not a puppet. So I realized I know this. And I'm like, man, I'm not doing good this morning. I need Jesus. And so I sought him. I went to my word that he has, well, his word that he has given me. And, I don't know if I can do this very well, but I have all kinds of things highlighted in this word of his that I think are worth remembering and latching on to. And the first one that cropped out of my flipping was this right here, which is 1 Corinthians 13. And so I read it. This is the CSB translation for whatever it's worth. If I speak human or angelic tongues, but do not have love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so that I can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. And if I give away all my possessions, and if I give over my body in order to boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, is not boastful, is not arrogant, is not rude, is not self-seeking, is not irritable, and does not keep a record of wrongs. Love finds no joy in unrighteousness, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. And that's 1 Corinthians 13, 1 through 8. And as I was reading this, I'm like, wow, okay, what is love? It's a good question. What is love? And simply put, I know that God is love. And I'm like, okay, how do you know God is love? And, well, it says so in the Bible. Where does it say so in the Bible? And I'm like, it's got to say so in 1 John. So I flipped to 1 John in here. And I began looking to assess and attest to the validity of what I know. And what I found was in 1 John, of course. And I did my flipping. And, the pages are stuck together because they're highlighted. There we go. There we go. Turns out it's in 1 John. Forgive me here. Got a little smudge on the paper. There we go. 1 John 4, 16. Yeah, right in the middle of 1 John 4:16, it says, God is love, and the one who remains in love remains in God, and God remains in him. That's a real simple way of putting it, because the book of 1 John has a lot of goodness in it that I could extrapolate and go upon in great detail, but suffice it to say, my wandering mind was like, what is love? God is love. What does that mean? What exactly does that entail? And I think there's a lot of different directions we could go with that, but the reality is 1 Corinthians has a lot to say about what love is and where love goes. I'm going to read that again, but I'm going to read it with the title of love in place of the word love. So, God is love, so love is God, and I'm going to read it like that. You'll see what I mean in just a second here. If I speak human or angelic tongues, but do not have God, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so that I can move mountains, but do not have God, I am nothing. And if I give away all my possessions, and if I give over my body in order to boast, but do not have God, I gain nothing. God is patient. God is kind. God does not envy. He is not boastful. God is not arrogant. God is not rude. God is not self-seeking. He is not irritable and does not keep a record of wrongs. God finds no joy in unrighteousness, but rejoices in the truth. He bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. God never ends. I don't know if I can convey to the depth of my soul how that matters so much, because the reality is all I can do is plant a seed and maybe water it, but God will cause the growth. But God has done something in me that allows me to know how beautiful He is and how beautiful what I just read is. And He's allowed me to understand it in the way that I've read it. And that's a grace from God, and a thanks be to God. And I hope and pray for you too, that you could know and find such love. Good morning, and God bless.